Namaste, namaste, and welcome to Monday Midday Chair Yoga. This is week 9 of our spring term, and spring is finally in the air. The daffodils are up here in Scotland, and everything is feeling very much like it's full of potential for the coming warmer months. Today, we're going to focus a little bit on our balance, but also onto our downward dog variations. Downward dog is a great posture that we can do with our chairs and with little bits of support in a chair-based practice that helps us to feel strong in the body and helps us to maintain that sort of health of our spine, spinal alignment, and other such things. So we're going to start our practice today with just a touch of centering and then some alternate nostril breathing. Why not? So beginning just by pressing your feet gently into the mat and then feeling where your body is on your chair, making sure you're not tipped too far forward or too far back. You feel like your body weight is centered over your sitting bones. We're going to lift the crown of the head upwards without being too rigid. We're just having that gentle sense of lift, placing the hands down wherever is comfortable, and perhaps closing the eyes or gazing gently downward. Take a moment just to step away from everything that's going on around you, coming into this time and space for yoga. Notice how your body feels in this moment. It is quite common for us to hear the loudest voices in our bodies first, the aches, the pains, the stiffness or tension. And we take note of those voices and honor them with compassion throughout our practice. But also take the time to notice at least one part of your body that feels spacious, peaceful, and at ease. Allow that part of the body to release the ease, the sense of peacefulness outwards in ripples so that it moves through the rest of your body. Perhaps you can feel a softening of the tension across your shoulders or your forehead, or the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. And then moving your awareness to your breath. Notice your natural breath in this moment. Observe the qualities of your breath, its smoothness, its depth, its rhythm. Notice the coolness of air coming in through the nose as you breathe in, and the warmth of the breath as you breathe out. Focusing on that sensation for the next few breaths. Allow your breath to deepen gently, without strain, without forcing. At the end of your next exhalation, just allowing your breath to soften into its natural rhythm and blinking your eyes open if they have been closed. So the first part of our practice, this alternate nostril breathing, we can do in a couple of different ways. So if you suffer with arthritis or pain in your hands, then you can simply hold your palms open when a nostril is open and close the palm of your hand when the nostril is closed. And if you need to reorientate yourself with practice, I will be doing this during our practice to indicate breathing in and closing and breathing out and opening and those sorts of things. But if you're able to, I'm going to come closer so that you can see. We can choose to use a mudra with our hand, so a gesture with the hand. And so we can start that gesture with your dominant hand, making a fist, extending your thumb, little finger, and ring finger. And so this is Nadi Mudra, and it allows us to close the fleshy part on the side of the nose towards the center of the nose on either side with either the ring finger or the thumb. And it's really gentle so that we go from side to side, really gently. You can practice. And if your hand doesn't feel comfortable like this, you can extend the middle finger and the first finger and rest the middle finger on the center of the forehead and still use the ring finger and the thumb to close the nose. As an alternative to either of those, if they don't work, thumbs underneath the chin and middle fingers, not first fingers, either side of the nose. So we need to find a way to either work with our open hand and closed palm to move the breath from side to side, or one of these mudras, these gestures of the hands. So as we practice, we're aiming to have the breath in a soft, steady rhythm, without strain, without forcing, without a sense of breathlessness. So as I talk you through the breath, if your breath is going faster or slower, then settle into your own rhythm and just try and keep the shape of the breath. And the shape of our breath will be to breathe in through the left side, close the left, and breathe out through the right, and then breathe in through the right, close the right, and breathe out through the left. So we're doing this N-shaped breath from side to side. And that is how we will begin. So I'm going to take this mudra, fist, thumb, little finger, and ring finger, and then placing the hand ready either side of the nose. You can support your elbow with your hand in front of you, or you might just soften your elbow onto your chest and let your shoulder relax. Your other hand could be in chin mudra, first finger and thumb together. If you wish to, it doesn't have to do anything at all. Let's do a practice couple of rounds. We're going to start with a deep breath in through both sides. Close the right side and breathe out through the left. And then breathe in through the left. Close the left and breathe out through the right. Breathing in right. Close, breathing out left. Breathing in left. Close, breathing out right. Breathing in right. Close, breathing out left. Just to practice a couple of rounds, relax your hands down, wriggle the fingers around, wriggle the shoulders around, wriggle the nose around if you need to. If you are using your hands, your fingers to close the nostrils, try not to press too hard. We don't want to end up with the nose being forced to one side or the other, just enough to gently stop the passage of air through that nostril. Super. So now we know the sequence. If you want to go faster or slower, you can. I will try to keep around about breathing in for 4 and breathing out for 4. That's around about the rhythm that we're going to aim for. So chin mudra with your non-dominant hand if you wish to, and then making your fist, thumb extended, little finger, ring finger, one of the alternatives if you choose. Taking the hand to the nose, either side of the nose, just resting on the cheek for now. I'm going to soften the elbow and shoulder down, press into the feet, lengthen the crown of the head up, and then either closing your eyes or gazing gently downwards. Taking a deep breath in through both sides. Deep breath out. We're going to breathe in through both sides. Close the right and breathe out only on the left. Breathing in left. Close, breathe out right. Breathe in right. Close, breathe out left. Breathe in left. Close, breathe out right. Breathe in right. Close, breathe out left. Breathe in left. Close, breathe out right. Breathe in right. Close, breathe out left. Breathe in left. Close, breathe out right. Breathe in right. Close, breathe out left. Breathe in left. Close, breathe out right. Just a little longer. Breathe in right. Close, breathe out left. Breathe in left. Close, breathe out right. Breathe in right. Close, breathe out left. Breathe in left. Close, breathe out right. Breathe in right. Close, breathe out left. At the end of this exhalation, releasing your hands down, breathing in and out through both nostrils. Taking a moment just to observe the effect of your practice. Allow your breath to settle into its natural rhythm. When you feel ready, you can gently blink your eyes open. Wonderful stuff. Well done, guys. So alternate nostril breathing is called Nadi Shodhana in yoga, when it's done this way with no breath retention. And it's actually a cleansing technique. It's a kriya. It helps to restore balance to our system, whether it be bodily, energetically, mentally. So it's a great thing to do before doing some balancing work, or if you're feeling a little bit unsteady in life or on your feet. So let us move into some movement now. We'll let the arms rest down by the sides and just begin with some gentle rolls of the shoulders. It doesn't have to be much movement, but we're trying to find that space where we feel comfortable moving. So we've got a real sense of building into the movement that feels the best for us, whilst also making some larger circles with the shoulders if that feels appropriate. If you wish to, you can allow your elbows to help with this movement by almost drawing the elbows in circles around the body. The hands can be wherever they feel comfortable. If you feel better having your fingers resting on your shoulders, you can, but it doesn't really matter. As you move like this, see if you can have a sense of feeling the movement across the torso, particularly around the rib cage, the chest, the upper back. Let's do one more. We're going to reach the arms away from us and just let the arms float down to the sides. And allowing the arms to be heavy so that the shoulders now feel softened and relaxed. We can draw the chin towards the chest gently. And then from here, gently rolling the right ear towards the right shoulder and chin back to chest and left ear to left shoulder. If these neck movements don't suit you, going from side to side, please feel free to make any other neck movements that feel right for you. So we're gently exploring the sensations in the body. We don't have to make any particular position here. It's all about how it feels. And perhaps you can feel a gentle sense of length. We're just doing this last one before bringing our head back to center with the chin towards the chest, giving ourselves a gentle smile and rolling the head upright, bottom teeth over top teeth to lift the chin forward and up. And remember, you can do as much or as little as suits the movements that your body makes with ease. Holding as you breathe. And then gently releasing back to center, relaxing your jaw, rolling all the way down, chin to chest again, noticing if that feels easier now. Again, a gentle smile and coming back to the center, a little wriggle of the shoulders just to release anything else that's going on there. Let's turn our awareness to our feet. So if you like to, you can settle yourself a little bit further back in your seat if that gives you better purchase across the bottom of the body. I might just shift my chair back a little bit more space is always good. So we can start here by lifting all the toes, spreading them out, and then trying to put the big toes down whilst keeping the other toes lifted. And if your hands do it too, that's absolutely fine. Just let them join in. So we've got the big toes pressed down, other toes lifted and spread out. And then we're going to change. So other toes down, big toes lifted. Still trying to keep spread out a little bit if you can. And we're going to go up and down. So big toes down, and then big toes up, other toes up, and then other toes down. And just working from one position to the other, trying to feel the effect across the sole of the foot. And it's pretty tough to do this with good control, so just working towards it. Let's do one more. And then we're going to let the feet soften. Shift yourself a little back in your seat so that you can free your feet from the floor and make some ankle circles. And if you want to, you can lean back or hold on to the chair at the same time, whatever gives you the support that you need. We're going to circle the opposite way as well. Fantastic stuff. And then we're going to shift forward again so our feet can find the floor. And now we're going to lift the toes of one foot and the heel of the opposite foot. That can maybe turn sideways so it's easier to see. So lifting the toes of one foot and the heel of the opposite foot, and then changing one and then the other. So we're just alternate, rocking through the length of the foot from front to back. And if you find alternate, opposite sides doing the opposite, my words are escaping me today, then you can do this with both at the same time, both toes up, both heels up. Because sometimes the collaboration between both sides of the body makes it easier for our more challenged side to do what it's like encouraged by the other side. But if you can do alternates, this is what we're aiming for. And the reason why we practice this cross crawl, this different things with different sides of the body, is to improve the connection between the two hemispheres of the brain. So it's a little bit of brain gym as well. There's always a reason in yoga. When you're ready, you can float both heels down to the floor, just taking a moment to sit tall, wriggle through the shoulders, and then we're going to shift our weight back into the seat again so we can lengthen the legs in front of us and just do a little bend and stretch. So a little kicking here. And we don't have to really focus on anything in particular because we're not looking to rigidly straighten the legs and bend them as much as we can. We're lubricating the knee joint with some gentle movements. If you wish to, you can point your toes forward and flex your heels backwards. And you don't have to force that to the point of cramp. It's just an easing as well. We're aiming for ease where possible. Very good. Relax both legs to be down and then maybe just a gentle sway from side to side. Make sure you've got room to do that on your seat. And a little flex of the foot here helps Doesn't have to be rigidly flexed, just enough to keep the sole of the foot off the ground. If you've got room, you can do a little circling as well. One of my favorite things to do. You can really feel the thigh bones rotating gently in the hip sockets, again, beginning to lubricate that joint, going the opposite way when you're ready. And so I do find myself occasionally in restaurants doing this sort of thing underneath the table, because it's usually the only time that we sit formally for eating. But there we are. Okay. So when you're ready, you can come to the front of your seat again, and we're going to do a little sit to stand here. So particularly if you're returning to practice after a while, taking it gently, seeing how you go. We want to have the knees directly over the feet or slightly ahead of center of the foot, and enough of your buttocks and possibly upper legs on the seat that you feel really confident as to where you're going to come back down to. We're firming the belly, looking ahead. We're going to use momentum from the arms. So gentle swing of the arms forward to lift the seat and then lower. We're aiming for a graceful hover and release back down. So a little hover and release, hover and release. Pressing into the feet as we go, keeping the belly muscles nice and firm, and keeping the sensation quite light, so we're not thumping down to the seat if possible. Let's do one more. And just take a moment to pause. So these are just like doing deep squats from standing, but it's just the most challenging part of the squat. So chair yoga is not always super easy. In fact, it's hardly ever super easy. So we're going to do this hover, but then stand all the way tall. So coming into the hover and then pressing into the feet to stand all the way tall and open the arms wide. Maybe let the hips come gently forward, maybe lift the chin a little, and then we're going back the opposite way. Reaching the hands forward as we bend at the knees and reach the tailbone back. We are confident as to where our chair is because our feet have not moved. So let's do this a few more times. Firm in the belly as we reach forward to hover, and then press into the feet to stand all the way tall, opening the arms, letting the hips come gently forward, and then reaching all the way back and sitting all the way down. Very nice. Let us do two more like this, pressing all the way up, opening the chest, and then sitting all the way down. Thinking about lengthening the tail back behind us, lightly sitting down. One more time, all the way up and down, opening the chest. Lovely job. And then this time we're just going to stand up and stay standing up. So reaching forward, pressing through the body, having that beautiful open, and then allowing the arms to rest down by the sides, just giving the shoulders a little gentle shrug. And we might feel really grounded with the feet here because we've worked to create stability in the feet. So this is the perfect time for a couple of cleansing breaths. We're going to leave the feet exactly where they are, thinking about just that gentle loosening of the toes, perhaps against the floor, and then breathing in to take the arms around us and up, and breathing out, palms together at the center of the chest. Let's do two more like that. Breathing in, reaching around your body. Breathing out. And one more time. Breathing in. And breathing out. And let your arms relax down to your sides. Take a moment to turn the palms forward, lengthen the crown of the head up. Again, still feeling that really strong connection with the feet down, that stability, that grounding. But take mountain pose, rolling the shoulder blades towards each other just gently to open the chest. Have a sense of length, maybe a lift in the belly muscles, a little soft across the knee, so not locked straight. And another couple of deeper breaths. Finding that stillness, that steadiness. Mountain pose is sometimes called Stamasthiti, standing steady. And then sometimes it's called Tadasana, which means mountain pose. And then when you're ready, just relaxing all that effort. So relaxing the shoulders, the palms of the hands, the soles of the feet, the knees, the ankles, the shoulders, and giving everything a nice little wriggle. We're going to shake out the legs so that we release our feet from the floor. I'm just moving my chair a little bit out of the way because I always try and make myself in the best place for you guys, but you don't have to move your chair if you don't need to. We can just move to the side of our seats so that we've got nice wide feet, a little soft in the knees, and we'll gently twist from side to side. Now here we're firming the belly muscles. We're keeping that length by imagining the head is a helium balloon and it's reaching skyward to lift the body into this lengthened upright position. But it's really light, it's not rigid, it's just floaty. And the arms are floaty as well. Shoulders nice and relaxed, arms wrapping around the body and tapping wherever they fall. And we don't have to move the feet at all, but if you wish to, you can gently pivot on your toes. Just a gentle transfer of the weight from one foot to the other. You can slow down to make this as comfortable as it can get. And if you'd like to, you can add a soft bend in the knee, a bounce and twist, touching the opposite side of the chest in front of you, opposite side of the torso behind you, giving the hands a destination. Lovely. I hope that my sticky mat and feet interactions are not too noisy at your end. Very good. Let's come back towards center. We're going to stop bending the knees, just pivot for a moment, and then bring the feet to steadiness and sway slowly back to stillness. Take a moment to organize yourself upright, drop the fingertips down, lengthen the crown of the head up, and again, find that mountain pose, that sense of standing on both feet, very steady, very stable, very solid. And then relax. Awesome sauce, guys. So we are going to prepare for our downward facing dog by doing a little bit of chair lunging. So I know that some of the folks practicing in person are quite readily able to do this, but if you need a lower support, then you can use a brick or a couple of bricks or a stack of books or a stool, something similar. So we are going to step foot up onto the chair. So we want this to be something that feels quite comfortable. It shouldn't feel too stretchy just to step a foot up onto here. So if you need something a little bit smaller, that's fine. And actually, this can be done with the feet on the floor, but with the feet nice and wide apart, a sort of swing of the hips backwards and forwards. It's just a little bit more challenging for balance. So we're going to step up here and be quite nice and comfortable. So we can hop this back foot as far away as feels good. If your chair is prone to moving, place it up against a wall so it can't go anywhere. And we can use the chair this way on so we can hold on to the back of the chair with the side that's closest to the chair back. And we're just gently going to ease the hips a little bit forward and then ease the hips a little bit backwards, straightening the leg that is on the chair. And as we ease the hips forward, our chest is open. And as we ease the hips backwards, we perhaps lean slightly forward. So we're trying to feel a sense of length in the back leg as we're coming forward and a sense of length in the front leg around the back of it as we bring the hips backwards. So it's just easing in and out. And you don't have to do as much as this. If it feels better to do a little bit less, or to just move the hips in a way that feels good to you. There are alternatives to doing this, which we've done in other classes, but this is the one we're aiming for today. Let's just do a couple more of these. This time, as we bring the hips backwards, we are going to pause wherever is comfortable. Knee doesn't have to be lengthened all the way straight, but it can be if you like. And we're just going to wiggle the hips gently from side to side, like we were wiggling our tail if we had one, which we do, it's just inside. Very good. And then coming back to the upright position, we are going to pause in this position and move our arm that is with the bent leg. So the bent leg arm is going to move around the body in a nice big circle. And your big circle could be smaller than that, or it could be expressive. Very good. Let's do 2 more. So we've done 5 circles in total, giving this little twist as we go. Very nice. Super. We're going to gently soften that back knee so that when we step onto both feet, we feel like we're arriving into that really strong, solid place. Very good. I am going to move my chair to the opposite end of the mat. You might just turn yourself around on your chair, or indeed, you might just do the whole thing in the same orientation. Who knows? We're stepping forward onto the other foot. And then just making sure that we've got that back leg to a point that feels good, that we can move easily in and out. We don't feel strain. That's not what we're after. And then holding onto the chair back, we're just going to ease the hips forward, maybe opening the chest as we go, and then ease the hips backwards, maybe bringing the chest towards the thigh as we go. So just a nice movement through the body, doing what our body is helpful, no, doing what our body feels comfortable doing here. So we're not looking for strain. We are looking for perhaps movements that we don't get to do normally. So we perhaps don't get quite so much of this forward movement in normal day-to-day living. We get a little bit more of this movement, this backwards movement. And this movement helps us with things like our gait, the steadiness of our gait when we walk, and finding our feet as well, finding stability through the feet. Let's just do 1 more, and we're going to leave the hips back and then just wiggling the hips gently from side to side, keeping that front knee nice and softened if it's helpful, just feeling where the stretch moves to around the back of the body. And then we're coming up into that lungy type position, leaving one hand on the chair back and the same leg that is bent, that arm moving around the body. Nice and firm through the belly muscles. Allowing the head and the chest to move as the arm moves. So we get that collaboration between the upper parts of the body, makes the movement feel more expansive than it would if we tried to keep the head steady and still, makes the shoulder feel more closed. Just 1 more. And then we're coming to the center, softening that back knee and gently stepping onto both feet. Holding on until we're on our both feet, and then we can release the chair, stand nice and tall, and notice how restful it feels for the body to be on both feet, how centered, how quiet. A couple of deeper breaths, just releasing the effort of our practice. We can even do a cleansing breath, breathing in and breathing out. Very nice. Wriggle through the shoulders. Excuse me. I've got a little croak at the moment. Apologies, guys. So I'm again moving my chair, but only because I'd like to do that. And we're going to do the first variation of our downward dog. So taking your hands onto your chair and walking your feet away from you. Away from the chair, sorry. We want to get to the point where our hips are still over our feet. We are not leaning towards the chair to push the chair. We're just pressing down here. All we're doing is supporting the upper body. And we're going to feel our way into this. So we're going to scoop the belly in, and we're gently going to bend the knees a little as we let the hips slide backwards, just as we did in our sit to stand. Same movement of sliding the hips backwards to create this length through the body. And we can keep the knees as bent as they need to be. And those who like to straighten the legs a little bit more can absolutely do that. But we're not aiming to strain in the back of the body. So we're keeping that softness. And if your head is above your arms, that is absolutely fine. Look forward or slightly downwards to keep the back of the neck nice and lengthened. And if you wish to, you can bring the head down to a space anywhere between the upper arms or in that general direction, but try not to let the head hang underneath the arms. And then here we're just pausing for a moment to see how this feels, a lift in the belly, pressing down into the feet and the hands. And then we're going to look towards our chair and lift upright to walk the feet in to stand for a moment. Hold on to your chair for as long as you need to feel safe, secure, centered, balanced. And then you can wriggle the shoulders, shake out the legs, do a little bit of dancing shoulders, dancing hips, which is all good. I've warmed up finally. Sorry, our house is very cold at the moment. So I'm going to whip this off, pop it to one side for relaxation later. So we can do this practice again, but we're going to do some undulations of the legs as well. So we're going to come into it exactly the same way, placing the hands onto the chair, walking the feet back, a little soft in the knees, and begin to lengthen your tailbone back behind you to find length. You might need a bit more distance, but we shouldn't press the chair away from us, just press down. When you come into a pose that feels good, making sure you've got this gentle lift with the belly, we can lengthen one leg and then the other. And as we do that, we glide the bent knee forwards. We perhaps turn slightly through the torso to look in one direction and then the other. If you want to do something slightly smaller, you can just make this in the legs without moving the upper body. Or you can do a little bit more with the upper body without moving the legs so much. And if you can allow both parts of the body or all parts of the body to collaborate, that's good too. When you're ready, coming back to the center, pressing into your feet, lurking gently forward, and then walking your feet in as you come to an upright position, just allowing that whole sense of coming upright. If we are trying to look for coming out of this without feeling too dizzy. And then letting go, wriggling the shoulders. A little bit of lightheadedness is not always something to be worried about. So if it's a little bit and you come up and it goes, then sometimes it's just that shift of energy. It's like a lightness in the head as a result of our practice, feeling very solid in the feet. And that can be quite pleasant in small amounts. But if you feel more dizzy than that, please rest down. Okay, and rest out. So we're going to do one more of these, I think, maybe one or two. So we're going to take our hands into the same position and then take the feet back. And this time, we're going to keep the feet perhaps a little bit wider. And we're going to sway the whole tail from one side to the other. So imagine you're trying to reach to the left with your left hip, your right hip follows, and reach to the right with your right hip, your left hip follows. So we get nice length down the sides of the body as we keep the knees bent and the belly muscles lifting and the arms pressing gently down. And if you want to bring your arms down a little bit further, then you can do that. You can even keep your head up, or you can bring your head down as well. Just a gentle sway from side to side. And then when you're ready, coming back to center, walking your hands up, stepping your feet in, allowing the arms to rest down, a little wriggle through the shoulders. Very nice, very nice. Maybe a little gentle shakeout. And I know I said there might be one or two extra things here, but I think that's probably enough down dog for today. There are all sorts of different variations. In the course of preparing for this class, I must have done about 16 different chair down dog variations. We are going to do a seated variation in just a moment. But first, we will come to doing a little bit of chair pose. So we're going to stand with the chair in front of us, facing our chair, with our feet about hip width apart, there or thereabouts. Wider is fine if that feels more comfortable to you. We want to have that sense of length, just as we did for Kati Chakrasana, that sense of light lift in the head. And then we are going to keep the feet very firm and just bend the knees. And as we bend the knees, that's the only part of the body that moves. Let's come back to straight legs and practice again. So nice and firm in the center of the body, bending only the knees. We haven't tilted backwards or forwards. Nothing's changed in the pelvis. Let's straighten the legs one more time and try that again. So bending the knees. This time we're going to stay and look down at the space between the knees and make sure that the knees aren't falling together or falling apart. They're right over the feet. And then lift the torso again and take a couple of deep breaths. We're going to come up onto our tiptoes for those who are feeling comfortable to do that, to balance on the tiptoes with the knees bent, the torso in exactly this position, looking forwards. And then if you like to, you can float your hands to bring the palms together at the center of the chest. And this is our lovely balance of the day. So just notice if it's wobbly, that's fine. Bring the feet down, bring the hands down, taking a couple of deep breaths. And then when you're ready, pressing the heels down, lengthening the legs, releasing the hands down to the sides. Give your shoulders a little wiggle and a wobble, and we're going to shake out the legs as well. Wonderful. So not as much balancing as I hoped we would get to do, but enough for this practice. So as you come down, make sure you've got your things for relaxation ready. So your extra layers, bits and pieces as needed. And we are going to do a chair-based downward dog practice before we come into relaxation. So downward dog is a very simple position of the body. It's basically your torso and legs at a right angle, maybe a slightly narrower angle if you would like to. And we can practice that on our chairs. So we can sit all the way back into our seats, hold on to the sides of the seat and lengthen the legs, both of them in front of us. Imagine you're standing on those feet. So you don't want floppy feet, you want nice flexed feet. And we can allow the shoulders to roll into the chair back behind us, really firm in the belly muscles here as well. Now, for those who feel very fancy, you can also reach your arms out or up so that you find the palms pressing against the ceiling in the way that the feet are pressing against the wall in front of you. Taking a couple of deep breaths here, allowing your head to be between your upper arms or slightly above the upper arms if needed. One more deep breath in and out, and then we're going to soften the knees and let the arms float down to the sides. Sit slightly forward on your seat, give yourself a little wriggle and a roll. So this variation of downward dog isn't down at all, it's seated, but it is exactly the same effort through the body to make that shape. Sorry, it's not exactly the same. It's a very similar effort in the body to make that shape. But because of our different orientation with gravity, different parts of the body work. So it is useful to practice this shape in this orientation. You can also do it lying down on your bed with your legs up the wall. So you make the sort of L shape of the body in various different orientations. And boat pose that we sometimes do where we're leaning back and lifting the legs in front of us is another variation, slightly more challenging. Let us finish this part of the practice with a gentle twist. We're going to bring the feet and knees all the way together, trying to press them together and keep them in that press, taking the arms out at about chest height, with the elbows bent and the palms facing forward. We're going to draw the shoulder blades towards each other, press into the feet to lift tall, and then just gently turn to the left. So we don't want this right elbow to try and lead. We want to try and look to make sure that we have still got the arms at chest height and they're out to the side, they're not in front of the body. And where we get to, we're going to hold and let the arms come down. The right hand might reach to the left side, the left hand might reach behind you, soften the shoulders, and then continue to turn the head at the neck if you'd like to the left. You don't have to, but you can. Wherever your head feels comfortable, pause and then continue to turn your eyes all the way to the left. Close the eyes or gaze gently downward with the eyes all the way to the left, and hold as you breathe. To come out, we're going to turn our head all the way back to the front or to center, release the hands and unwind, turning a little bit to the opposite side and returning. Same thing to the other side. You can relax your legs for a moment if they're still like forcefully pressing together, and then repress the knees, the thighs, the ankles, and the feet towards each other. We'll take our arms out at shoulder height, cactus arms, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other, press into the feet, lift into the crown, firm the belly muscles, and gently twist to the right. We want to make sure this left arm isn't leading the twist, that the arms are still at chest height. Doesn't matter if you don't go far. Wherever you get to with the body, we rest the arms down and we continue to turn the head to the right if that feels good for the neck, and then rest the head where it gets to, and then continue to turn the eyes to the right. And you can soften the eyes closed or gaze gently downward, still gazing to the right. Take a couple of deeper breaths here. Try to let your shoulders soften where they are. Still firm in the legs and the belly. And then to unwind, turning to the front again with the head, returning to center with the arms, maybe slightly unwinding and returning to center, relaxing the legs. Give yourself any sort of shaking out that needs to be shook, and then we'll pop our layers on for relaxation. Super. Spinal twists are so good for us because they help us to release tension, particularly across the functional fascial lines that go diagonally across the torso from shoulder to opposite hip. And they also let us get rid of, I find it really good for getting rid of tension in the rib cage. So a lot across the intercostal muscles. And the structures that help us breathe, so things like the diaphragm and the back of the body as well. So, just settling yourself in your chair. If you wish to, you can wrap your blanket all the way around you. I like that because my chair seat is also quite hard and it provides a little cushioning for my behind. So settling yourself back into your chair, resting your feet, making sure you're warm and cozy. And remembering that at this point of our practice, you can always recline on your bed or on a sofa or somewhere a little bit more comfortable if you prefer. The whole idea of relaxation is that the body is still and soft and continuing to surrender back and down. So resting your hands wherever they're comfortable, perhaps closing the eyes now, taking a few more moments if you wish to. Taking a long, deep breath in and sighing out through the mouth. Long, deep breath in. Let all of the effort of practice go. Long, deep breath in. Let your muscles begin to relax. Long, deep breath in and surrender back into the chair, down into the floor. Allow your breath to find its natural rhythm. Falling into quietness. Take your awareness into your forehead. Feel it soften. Feel the area around your eyes relaxing. The space in the center of the forehead expanding. Your mouth, tongue, jaw relaxing. Allow the whole of your body to feel heavy, warm, supported, softening back and down. Move your awareness to the front of your body. Feel the space over you, around you. Feel the gentle touch of air on your face. The weight and the warmth of your blanket or extra layers. Feel the movement of your clothes on your skin as you breathe. Move your awareness to your breath. Feel the rhythm of your breath. Feel its softness, its depth. Feel the sensation of cool air coming in through the nose and the warmth of the breath in the nose as you exhale. Notice the pattern of your breath. Is your breath a continuous breath in and out and in? Or are there moments of stillness, pause in the breath? Perhaps a moment just after you finish breathing in, before you breathe out, or after breathing out, before you breathe in. Not a holding of the breath, just a moment where the breath is suspended, still, quiet. Allow your awareness to rest in these pauses wherever they are present. Feel like time is expanding in those moments of pause. So that moment of peace and quiet and stillness becomes bigger without holding the breath. Just your awareness of this moment expands. Allowing you to rest into that sensation of peace, of stillness, of calm, present in every breath. Gently begin to deepen your breath, bringing your awareness back into your hands and your feet by moving your fingers, your toes, maybe rolling your wrists and ankles. When you feel ready, you could take a deep breath in and stretch the body in any way that feels good. Maybe yawning, maybe stretching and lengthening the arms and the legs, maybe reaching to one side or the other. And only if you wish to, you can bend one knee into the chest and kind of round over that knee. And then swap sides to do the same thing on the other side. When you're ready, you can bring your hands to rest wherever they're comfortable, taking just a moment to observe the effect of your practice. Perhaps taking your chin towards your chest. We've created in ourselves a sense of strength from our feet, stability, safety, balance. We've explored the posterior fascial chain, the back line of the body in our down dog variations, and hopefully provided a little sense of relief and releasing tension across those areas of the body. And we found a space, a calm, a stillness that is within us whenever we need to tap into that. Our whole practice has set us up for the most tremendous week. The challenges that we face or the joys that we will encounter, and everything in between. Give yourself a soft smile, and when you're ready, raising your head and opening your eyes. Thank you so much for joining in this practice today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Namaste.